Well, ladies and gentlemen, there I was on my sofa bed watching the 7th episode of Andor on Disney Plus, and I tell you what, it's an absolutely fantastic show. Ignore the naysayers who say it's slow moving, it's a bit of a yawn fest. It definitely isn't, and I tell you what, Ma Mothra is a bit of a babe. Unfortunately, folks, I had to stop all of that because Cyberboy's video popped up on my YouTube feed, and I had to go and make a video about this now. It's concerning Leslie Peter Benzies, the CEO of Build a Rocket Boy, the ex-Rockstar developer.
Hello, I'm Leslie Benzies, director of MindsEye, Build a Rocket Boy's new action-adventure set in the fictional city of Red Rock.
Because I've got to ask myself the question now, do I even trust this man anymore? Do I even want MindsEye to be released on the 10th of June of this year? I say no, delay it for a year and release it then. Actually, it'd be quite funny and quite ironic if this game actually is delayed for that time and goes up against GTA 6, which is being scheduled to being released next year as well, right? May the 26th, 2026. Oh, what a glorious day that will be, folks. I mean, folks, if we just look at the SteamDB charts right here for MindsEye, this is not looking good. Even though it's being scheduled for the 10th of June of this year, 16,000 followers, just over that amount, 186 in the wish lists. And, well, this could be an omen, funny enough. 666 in the top sellers.
Watch this space.
The next half hour.
For BBC brings you.
Pre-purchase MindsEye on Steam. My advice to you folks, and I can't even believe I am saying this, is don't do that. Just hold off. I think this game is actually going to smash into a big brick wall, not by Pink Floyd, anytime soon. And it hurts me to say this because you guys know I've been championing this game despite its pitfalls, despite the fact I'm not ignorant. I kind of overlooked these, hoping that there might still be a great game here. And by the way, some of the footage you will see over this is from Cyberboy's own footage that he caught when he was invited to the offhand demo that they had a couple of weeks ago, or last week actually. So that's what I'll be running here, and it's a sad state of affairs. And I've got to give Cyberboy some credit here because without him I wouldn't have known half this information. But if we go to the Glassdoor website, and these are the reviews, the thoughts and feelings about Build a Rocket Boy, and I tell you what, they're not good. They're just pretty terrible. Look at that, 2.1 stars out of 5. I mean, in other words, if you want to get a job with this company, don't even bother sending your resume to them. It will just be a bad day at Black Rock, folks. Leslie Benzies, 23% approve of him as this current CEO of the company. What are the pros? Nice people on the lower levels, good salary, but very little increase over the years. The cons, no benefits and no priorities given to the well-being of employees. And that's from 11 reviews. Bad management in 11 reviews. Let's click on that and see what they say. Okay, pros, nothing positive to speak about. Cons, management have no clue of what they're doing. Well, we can say that's about any company that has clueless, boring managers or micromanagers that run the ship, or in this case, sinking their ship. Build a Rocket Boy could be the next Titanic. I didn't make up that headline myself. I stole it from somewhere else, folks. A regime where people are praised for nodding along and are otherwise silenced. Holy shit. This is not a good look, is it? Culture of people vanishing without warning, mid-management who interpret, and that's been spelt wrong obviously, interpret what? what CEO requests leading to confusion? Again, some misspelling there. What a shame. Great colleagues. The top-down approach to game design leads to poor products. I've heard there's quite a lot of clashes behind the scenes regarding Build the Rocket Boy and the hellish development of MindsEye, which is such a shame. Avoid if you come from another AAA company. Holy shit. Pros, you get to have your name in possibly a big game title. Remote work, LGBT, okay, whatever. Cons, leadership constantly changing, completely tone-deaf HR, delays. Oh no, let's have a look. You don't really grow in the company. They hire people to fit roles that you could clearly and well fit and prove yourself to be competent than to promote you. Barely any benefits. They give you £50 on the gym that you have to pay taxes on it. Well, we're talking about Scotland, right? So what else are you going to be surprised about there? Advice to management is probably learn to listen, not to act like you're listening, and then shove politically correct responses for the sake of responding, which is kind of funny actually, because on the diversity tab, this will make you laugh actually. Equality, diversity and inclusion, or DEI, right? They just switch the letters around, or rather the words around. Ratings for that is 2.4 out of 5. This is absolutely hilarious. Build the Rocket Boy has a equality, diversity and inclusion rating of 2.4 out of 5, as I've just said, based on 88 anonymous employee ratings. This is 36.3% lower than the average of EDI ratings in the farts, entertainment and recreational sector. The average EDI rating left by 88 employees decreased over the last 12 months. So I guess coming from Rockstar, which is DEI focused, and then suddenly in the report last week removed any traces that they themselves were supporting said DEI initiatives, it makes you wonder, right? What's going on there? It's a sad state of affairs, but folks, it doesn't end there. I've got more for you. Now, this part could be seen as, oh, come on, Kung Fu, you've got that tinfoil hat wrapped around your pretty head ever so tightly. But honestly, folks, you got to bear with me. Just let's look into this. I know I'm that crazy guy in his crazy room, but we need to look at this. So, courtesy of the Daily Mail, and this is a report that goes back to, if I can actually get these silly ads to be removed. Let's have a look. The 7th of January 2019. So this is pre-lockdown, right? BAFTA award-winning video game boss 47, who worked on GTA, is accused of poaching his former colleagues to start a rival business. And they've got these 5 or 4 bullet points right here. Leslie Benzies, former president of Edinburgh games firm Rockstar North. He left in 2016. Well, we know why he left, because his son was working there at Rockstar and other friends, but suddenly one day they all got locked out of the offices and they couldn't return to their terminals, their PC terminals, right? So we don't know what was actually going on there. He's accused of willfully infringing intellectual property and soliciting its staff. I made a joke about this a couple of days ago on that MindsEye video where I said I wonder if he was stealing assets from previous Rockstar games and trying to use them in MindsEye. He's a video game pioneer who worked on the GTA series. Yep. Okay, so the parent company of Rockstar North, Take-Two Interactive Software Incorporated, issued a preemptive legal warning to Mr. Benzies' new firm. It accused Leslie Benzies, who set up his own studio at the Old Leith Corn Exchange in 2017, of willfully infringing its intellectual property and soliciting its staff. Benzies hired former colleagues for the studio, initially named Royal Circus Games, which has since been renamed Build a Rocket Boy Games. I told you, you can't make this stuff up. Holy shit. The company is currently producing its first game everywhere, described as an experience which will blur the lines between reality and a simulated world. But lawyers from Take-Two, based in New York, have taken issue with the startup. Oh my goodness. I do wonder what is actually going on there. Oh, right. So it's suggested that Benzies and his colleagues had tried to deliberately hoodwink customers into believing their new firm was affiliated with Rockstar Games. Ouch, ouch. And I'm wondering now if that has something to do with MindsEye, because, oh my God, they just mentioned Build a Rocket Boy, and it makes you wonder why people like Digital Foundry kind of poo-poo this game. They might have access to whistleblowers within Build a Rocket Boy who might have come forward and told them stuff off the record, but Digital Foundry is not one of these whistleblowing networks, if you know what I mean. They talk about tech in games and retro video games, right? So that's not their shtick. What's interesting, this article from 5 years ago on Reddit, the Everywhere game, it's not real. I think there is no game, and Benzies is just a liar. He can't make games. I don't even think he's a designer, and that's probably completely wrong. But then again, you know, they've gone to facts here. This was obviously back then, 5 years ago, where things have obviously changed. That's BB or BARB, right? So why would they fake being a net, right? So why would their net worth be $100 million? So they lied about that apparently, and I've got to say apparently and allegedly for this video, folks. But people here are kind of roasting this guy, saying that he needs to do better research. The game is real. Check the Enterprise papers. And from what I've seen as well, folks, the game looks like it might still be coming out, but with the lukewarm reception that MindsEye might receive, I don't know, to be honest. But then again, some people don't think that this is actually a real post in the sense of the word, but here we are. Right, we're going to go backwards, folks. This is the company house. HMRC says all public records, so I'm not doing anything illegal right here. So Leslie Benzies, for a man whose net worth, I don't even know what he's worth. I'm going to guess maybe 25 million, 50 million from what he might have accrued or what he might still be owed from Take-Two and Rockstar Games. This gentleman has opened 21 companies beginning from 2014. LPBZ Limited, he was a director, but he resigned. And if we keep going through this, the list, it gets very interesting. So again, LPBZ USA, which is interesting that he would keep the same name but open in a different location. The Kalex Group, Build a Rocket Boy 2016, right? Okay. And then we've got Build a Rocket Boy Technologies, Everywhere Game Limited, that's a company, believe it or not. Build a Rocket Girl Limited. I mean, come on, where there's a boy, there's a girl, right? That's absolutely hilarious.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much. How do you feel?
You can't sing, but you still put me to sleep.
And quite a few of them are coming up at the same address of 19A Canning Street, which is probably going to be like an industrial estate. It's not like a proper residential address, or it could be in some cases. I've known people that have actually used their home address to be their company address, just like we're going to put something on record, that's what it's going to be. 21 appointments, right? And look, you know what the conspiracy theorist in me is saying now, right? That is this guy spreading out his financial assets, or is he trying to raise lots of funds here, there, and everywhere, right? What's going on? Is there some kind of a legal case between him and Rockstar, his ex-employee in Take-Two? He needs to raise the funds, or is he planning to do a Cassian Andor and flee the planet and go somewhere where the sun is shining and babes in bikinis serve you margaritas all day long. I tell you what, the mystery gets ever so deeper, folks, and not the usual kind of video I like to make, to be honest. I've done a few of these in the past, but it's not like it's a gotcha video, I gotcha. It's none of that stuff. It's I'm just trying to look at the facts about what's going on here, and I tell you what, it's not looking good for MindsEye and Leslie Peter Benzies, the man's reputation, because no wonder you can't find out much stuff about him. When the Daily Mail is definitely reporting on you, you know it's definitely not a good look. But honestly, my advice to Build a Rocket Boy is to postpone MindsEye until next year. Do that, folks. If you get a much more accomplished and polished game, by all means go for it and then prove everybody wrong. But honestly, when I see these things popping up and how Build a Rocket Boy is definitely being given the old heave-ho on Glassdoor, where people may lie, but they can't edit their videos, or they cannot edit their reviews, I beg your pardon. Wouldn't it be funny actually if you could make a video review and post it online, but then it defeats the whole point of being anonymous on Glassdoor. So yeah, I mean, that aside, folks, yeah, I mean, people might be posting these reviews out of spite. We've not heard Peter, we haven't heard Leslie Benzies' side of the argument, but then again, will we ever? Because to me, behind the smile, Peter Leslie Benzies, or Leslie Peter Benzies even, could be the devil in disguise. And on that one, folks, if you enjoyed this very lastminute.com video, make sure you leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catching me for the return of the next video.
Send for the Carpathia and ask them to head to your location at full steam, because Build a Rocket Boy will be the British video game's Titanic.